Sir, recently Charles Soludo said that you did not leave any tangible legacy in your state. Can I ask you to explain why Mr. Soludo is wrong?
If I want people to ask me what did you do in Anambra State, I said I brought civility and order in government and governance. At least I brought an ordered behavior. You see, often at time, people look for physical infrastructure as a model. No. There's a difference between even people having what you call ordered behavior.
So inculcating a culture.
A culture of ordered behavior, a pattern, a discipline. And people can say, this man is doing the right thing. I brought an ordered behavior to the governance. If that is the only thing, the rest let the people judge. What happened in education? We were number 24 when I started. When I left for 3 years, we were number 1. But in work and NECO. So what else? Maybe people were expecting me to build a twin tower. No, that is not what is required now. What is required now in Nigeria is to bring civility and order and to do things in a structured manner that we can build a better place. What is the most important thing? Education. Why are we celebrating Asian countries? The reason why we are celebrating Asian countries is that in the 70s and 80s, while they were busy educating their people, we were busy picnicking and celebrating and dancing. And suddenly now, even if you go to schools, the so-called Ivy League schools in America and everything, they've taken it over. Kellogg was founded by a famous man, Kellogg Graduate School. By the time he finished, after spending 57 years there, the next person that he handed over was an Indian. Why is India powering today? Because of ICT. And what is ICT? Education. So I invested in education. That is the most critical legacy anybody can leave.
Part of the criticism was that you left too much money in the coffers at a time when he believed that there was actually things you could do with that money.
No, let me tell you. Development has a pattern and time. As a governor, when I started, there was no planning in the states. I set up Ministry of Planning. Before I became governor, if you come from Asaba to Onitsha, it is like somebody who went from heaven to hell. And if you move from Onitsha to Asaba, it's like somebody who went from hell to heaven. Today, I've been able to come into Onitsha and build a 10-lane up to 6 roundabout. In Mpo, where there's the biggest congestion, I work with federal government into building a flyover there. Because one of the things that I was doing, when people say I left too much money, is that where I think things that are critical for me, rather than go and spend the limited resources of the state, I try to look for federal government, development partners, assistance in other areas. What we did in terms of the money we left, if you're operating with the depleting assets, you must save for the future. And I'll give you an example. Somebody told me yesterday, said, the foreign currency component of your saving is about $170 million, which is like about 40 billion. Which state in Nigeria can say they have 40 billion?
Okay, so all these achievements under, the banner of ABGA, the party that essentially took you to successful elections twice, and yet you've left.
One day,
and joined the ruling PDP.
One day.
Why?
One day, that is not for today. I can tell you. No, it's not for today.
There's something decidedly odd about abandoning ship.
There's women, there's husbands and wives that have abandoned the richest people in the world and divorced them. Maybe because they are not wanted, maybe because of irreconcilable differences. Take it that I left Africa in that manner. You know,
the difficulty for people, for example,
let me tell you what I always tell people.
Yeah.
Nobody stays in a place you're no longer wanted. There's something I always tell my wife. I said, we are married. I own the house. I own the house in which we live. But any day you don't want me again, I'll leave the house for you. When I left England, I lived in London for 10 years, and I bought a house. When I was living in London, I said to my wife, I'm going, to my country. I don't have anything to do with white man again. I've returned whatever belongs to them. This house, because it's my house, I don't owe any mortgage in it. It belongs to you and your children. Even if you don't want me to come into it again, I won't come into it. So for me, that's the situation Africa is. They don't want me again.
The point though is, you talk about ABGA as something that is almost removed from you. As someone who was senior in the party, you are seen as actually a stakeholder in ABGA.
I was a foundation, and I made ABGA what it is.
Exactly. So why would you abandon something that you started to build?
Let me tell you, I had a company that I was owing 40%. 40% of the company, very big company in this country. When they started quarreling, I left it. Nothing is worth a quarrel.
This is at odds with your nature that we saw when you were fighting for your mandate.
Let me tell you what I did when I chased it. Throughout the time I was in court, never did you see me use bad language. Never did you see me call the man who benefited. All I did is say, I want the court to end. You didn't know when the problem in ABGA started. It started over a period, and then when it got to the end where I feel it's okay, I left.
We must force free and fair elections on INEC and Tinubu in 2027. We must force it. If we don't force it, then forget it. There are 4 solutions that we can use to force INEC to conduct free and fair elections. 4 solutions. These 4 solutions, if we implement them even 50%, then rigging in election in Nigeria will be a thing of the past, gone and forgotten. Not even a 5-in-1 Tinubu will be able to rig 2027. Yes, 5-in-1 Tinubu. And I'm talking about Tinubu being the presidential candidate of the APC, Tinubu being the INEC chairman himself, Tinubu being the head of thugs and agberos, Tinubu being the head of the judiciary, and Tinubu being the head of the security agencies. These are the 5 elements that you need to successfully carry out rigging in Nigeria. Now, if we put these 4 solutions into play, a 5-in-1 Tinubu cannot rig elections, because these solutions, they guarantee 100% election transparency. And that is the foundation for free and fair elections. Now there is the issue of, coalition. All of these coalition talks will only yield fruits if there is free and fair election in Nigeria. This is 2025, and we're talking about Tinubu, not 2015, and certainly not a Goodluck Jonathan. Goodluck Jonathan was free, gave INEC a free hand, and whatever happened in 2015 happened. In 2025, as we build up to 2027, Do you really and honestly think that a Tinubu will give INEC free hand to conduct free and fair elections? Does it look like it? We already have an INEC that is under the thumb, the control of the APC and Tinubu, an INEC that is now becoming clearly partisan. Do you think that even if we had electoral amendment, that this INEC or the INEC under the next appointee of a Tinubu will give us free and fair elections? First and foremost, electoral reforms. Yes. But after we get electoral reforms, is that the end? We must take it a step further. In fact, 3 steps further. We must add parallel, electronic, real-time polling unit results transmission, collation, and display. Real-time. Parallel to whatever we can get INEC to do. Parallel. We have the application. It's Election Watch. But we need the people, polling unit marshals. How many polling units do we have in Nigeria? 189,000. Round that off to 200,000. Multiply it by 3. So we have at least 3 polling unit agents per polling unit. And each of these polling unit marshals will enter the results from the polling units. And immediately, election closes on election day. Immediately. I'm not talking about 1 hour later. No. Immediately, election closes, results are counted from the polling unit. We have the result for the whole Nigerians to see on our web portal. We have it. But we must work together to achieve this. We need you to volunteer to become a polling unit agent. This is not a partisan solution. It is not. This is not, oh, I am APC, I am PDP, I am ADC. No. This is a solution for all Nigerians. This is not a, oh, I am obedient, oh, I am Showore, I am, no. Any serious candidate, any serious Nigerian that wants a new Nigeria that works for everybody must, as a matter of necessity, support this solution and volunteer as a polling unit marshal. The application is already developed. We're testing it. We need you to volunteer so that we can put these measures in place. Like I said, if we have these 4 solutions in place, Election Watch being just one of them, it won't matter that Tinubu is 5 in 1. And if we don't have these solutions in place, it won't matter that Peter Obi, El Rufai, Amechi form the biggest coalition. It won't matter because they will be rigged out. And then they will tell you, go to court. I don't want to cry after the election of February 2027, saying they rigged us out. No. We can prevent the rigging if we have free and fair election in Nigeria today. If it is guaranteed. Peter Obi does not need a coalition. He doesn't. And that's why Tinubu is not planning to give you free and fair elections. The signs are there. But we can resist it and defeat whatever rigging arrangement they put in place. Join us to accomplish this task. The links are in the description.